Hey everybody, I'm Jackie Jing with Anime News Network, and for this week's edition of The List, we are talking about 7 heart-pounding anime sword fights. Our managing editor, Lindsay Leveridge, compiled this lineup, so make sure to show her some love on the social medias. And before we start breaking down the list, make sure to subscribe to Anime News Network's YouTube page, and do not forget to hit that notification bell. Ring ring. Also, spoiler alert for the anime that we're talking about. Alright, you ready for 7 of our favorite sword fights? Shing! Let's do it! Death stares, blood splattering, swordsmanship at its finest. All the while, Nanache and his foe, Lao Long, face off on the roof of a collapsing structure dusted with powdered snow. Wind blustering as they spin, counter, and slide to narrowly avoid being bested by one another. This skirmish never lets up, even as the structure falls down around them. It is a major nail-biter the whole way through. The determination, the drama, the romance, the flat-out insanity surrounding this matchup makes it one for the books. Both fighters have their own constraints. Kenshin only fights with the dull side of his blade, and Shishio can only fight for so long before his permanently burned body begins to break down. So, Shishio defeats Kenshin's allies. The two formidable foes come face to face. But Shishio passes his limit, and his lover Yumi runs out and shields him, catching Kenshin off guard. Shishio seizes the opportunity, running his sword through Yumi, stabbing a distracted Kenshin. With her last dying words, she begs Shishio to win. He gives it his all, but ends up spontaneously combusting in the end. An explosive ending, to say the least. Mugen's hip-hop influenced fighting style contrasts from Jin's traditional swordsmanship, but this juxtaposition is magical and entrancing. The two characters first encounter one another inside a restaurant. While Mugen is busy breaking a man's fingers, he overhears that Jin has skills, and before anyone can catch their breath, he's pounced over in his Gita, bouncing from ceiling support beams to tabletops in the hopes of getting the drop on Jin. This is another fight that makes awesome use of its environment. The characters interact logically with the objects around them to block attacks or enhance their advantages. Oh, and this all ends with a fire. Yeah, the fight's pretty lit. Jubei faces a motley crew of assassins and ninja scroll, but no one can deny the awesomeness of Jubei's heart-pounding strategic face-off with the blind samurai Maduro. Jubei hopes to obscure Mujuro's adept sense of hearing in a bamboo forest, but Mujuro counters, blinding Jubei by reflecting light from his blade. Mujuro gets the upper hand, but then things take a wild turn. Earlier, Kaguro tries to attack Mujuro, but her dagger ends up in his stalk. And that dagger is still there, and Mujuro swings his sword and hits the dagger. Jubei gets his opening, and yeah, that sucks for Mujuro. But all's fair in love and samurai fights. Again, Utena goes head-to-head with Otori Academy's strongest fencer, student council member Juri, on a platform peppered with crash cars. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, honestly. The action is less impressive, but Juri's defeat just shakes you. Utena misses Juri's rose and instead breaks the chain on her locket, revealing a picture of Shuri. Juri, despite seeming so strong, was deeply wounded from the love triangle involving herself, Shiori, and Ruka. She forfeits in a state of shock. This vulnerability and mental break cuts you to the core. Shiro and Archer, both dual-wielding matching blades, go head-to-head in a magic-infused clash. A major highlight, the weapons cam, as swords fly through the air and repel off one another. Now, Shiro makes use of his own magic to recreate his broken weapons at a moment's notice, and Archer, the more skilled of the two at this point, finds his opponent is not as soft as he looks. For the most part, Shiro seems to be on the defensive, while Archer lashes out at his idealism. Shiro awakens his inner determination though, and things get real serious. Many might think of Gintama as a slapstick parody show, but there's a reason Gintoki is known as the White Demon. He faces chief antagonist Shinsuke Takasugi in the anime's 4th season. The pair clashed in a bloody altercation that would have blinded Gintoki, but he blocks the stab to the face with his wrist. Ouch. They both manage to knock each other's weapons out of their hands, and things turn into a brawl of fists and feet, basically. The whole fight is crazy good from an animation standpoint, but almost difficult to watch as the characters scrounge to stay alive. What's your favorite sword fight? Comment below, and follow Anime News Network on all of our social media accounts. See ya!